Welcome to the RSP Film Room. I'm Matt Waldman with the Rookie Scouting Portfolio. There's been a lot of analysis on Najee Harris, Alabama's running back, but I thought I'd take a look at some things that maybe you're not always going to see on YouTube or in various draft analysts' portfolios of analysis of this Alabama running back, who certainly deserves to be one of the 3 to 4 best running backs in this class in terms of how you're going to rate him. But I'm going to show you some things, both good and things that he can work on. Let's start off with something that he can work on, and that's when it comes to pass protection, understanding that he needs to keep his head up. And you're going to see him drop his head at the beginning of this play. Right here. See how his head's dropped? That defender just comes right over him, right over the top of him when he tries to pick up that blitz. See the swim right there? That's because Harris is too far forward with his pads, heads down a little bit. And the defender's able just to swim right over him. And this is a problem that he has against larger defenders. Defenders his size or bigger, is that he can kind of drop his head a bit and overextend, and it telegraphs what he's doing. The defender can take advantage. Here's another example of that head drop. Watch him here. As number 92 comes in, watch him work and see how he drops that head right there. Doesn't even know what he wants to do there with that block. Now, you understand that most teams are going to use Najee Harris as a receiver, but there's going to be times he's going to need to block. And if he can't have an approach where he can't decide whether he wants to cut block or to stand up. And if he's standing up, he needs to make sure that his head doesn't go down like that and then try and drop across the hips like that. That was just kind of a desperation move of not knowing what your plan should be because you're freaked out that you've got a much bigger guy here that you've got to deal with and don't know how to approach it. And you could say, well, that's effective because, look, the quarterback's able to slows him down enough for the quarterback to be able to get the ball off. But you don't want your quarterback hit at all. And if you can prevent that, and give your quarterback more time to make a better decision, all the better for him. All right, let's talk about something that I think a lot of people have already seen pretty easily, which is Najee Harris hurdling people. You're going to see him here work across the field, make a nice catch, stiff arm with the throw by there. Then you're going to see the hurdle right there. Gets the touchdown. This is going to be that play that you're going to see pretty much every time people are talking about Najee Harris for more than 30 seconds. You know, they're going to show this play in a variety of highlights. One of the things I like is the nice, quick, and sharp break right there to get flat, but he angles that route a little bit deeper to get behind number 53, knowing that he has a receiver here cutting off this defender. Catches the ball with underhand technique, but still catches it first with his hands like that. And this is a nice throw by, because that's what it is he slows down enough so that he can put his hand into the side of the defender right here under the arm and then just use that leverage to shove him to the ground. And that's beautiful placement. That's not so much strength as it is leverage. Smaller backs could do this too. It just is that he has the confidence and the placement to get his hand exactly where it needs to be to use that defender's momentum against the defender. And then again, nice job with the hips, the mobility of the hips to be able to do that. And he's basically splitting his legs apart there. See if we see anything with the bend. Nothing really with a bend to begin with. It's just a jump with a nice job of showing the flexibility of his hips to widen them like that and land in stride. Nice work. One of the most important aspects of Harris's game that's really going to be magnified at the NFL level is how fast he's going to be able to transition from a sideline to sideline approach on a run to get downhill. How many steps does he need? And when it comes to, say, the short corner like this one where you've got pulling blockers, you can see him work towards the edge, see the force player coming downhill towards that flat, and then basically make a one-step transition, nice opening of the hips, point of the toe, gets through that crease, gets into the open field. Big gain there for him. But thanks to Draft Breakdown right there and the Astronauts crew, you're going to see here Harris work downfield. There's that plant right there. If it takes more than a couple of steps to do that, That's going to slow him down in the NFL. But for him to be able to make this plant with basically one step and get downhill, that's efficient, especially with his burst, because he has better long speed than he has great short area burst. He has short area quickness, which is changing direction, but that initial runway to get up to full speed, he needs a little bit of help. He's going to beat defensive linemen. He's going to beat some linebackers, but he's not going to beat top NFL linebackers and certainly not safeties and cornerbacks. So he's going to need to maximize the space he can get to get downhill as soon as possible, and he does that. That's a good sign. And because he has decent but not, I would say not starter or high-end starter burst, it's good enough to be on the field and contribute, and he has certainly other qualities that compensate well for it. One of those qualities that compensates well for it is his indirect balance. Watch number 8 coming downhill here and hit him right in the shoulder, and he's able to deflect that, use the stiff arm a bit, and just continues moving after that. This doesn't ear hole him to the ground. He gets another 5 to 7 yards on that play, nearly gets the first down. So he may not outrun number 8 to the short corner, but he's going to be able to take the contact and get positive yards off that. And that's something that you need to see, and it's a good compensatory factor in Najee Harris's game, considering that he has really good top-end speed, but that runway, he doesn't get it up to that top-end speed with a short runway. He needs a little bit of a longer runway. So good indirect contact balance right there. Here's another example of what I mean by him needing a longer runway to get up to top speed or to even re-accelerate. You're going to see number 8. He's getting blocked right here, and he's going to turn, and he's going to get an angle after number 7. The safety tries to cut across. Now, Harris does a great job of using that front forearm to deflect that shot, and number 8's right there to run him down. Now, 8 was in position before even number 7 delivered this move. 8 was probably going to run him down anyway, and that's the point I'm making here, is that he needs a bit of a runway to reach that top speed, and that means that most linebackers who are NFL caliber athletes are going to be able to run him down in a lot of situations that maybe he gets a lot more yards in the college game. So keep that in mind. But even with that lack of initial burst, that short area quickness is there, and the efficiency in which how he uses it, he makes good choices. Look at these jump cuts in succession. These are very efficient jump cuts. He's just doing what he needs to open his hips and get downhill. And he avoids defenders in succession there and uses his strength to win at the end there to finish strong. That's exactly what you want to see from a back here who has the quickness to be able to make people miss in short areas, but maybe not the great burst. So just make sure that, he makes sure that he's using moves that keep him moving downhill and favor his balance and his strength. Here's another example of those smarts on display here, because he's going to reverse field. You're going to see this is fairly well cut off. He understands that, seeing that his pullers are getting stopped well into the backfield. He peeks to the outside, but sees that there's a force player unblocked who's going to come downhill, knows that's not going to work. Now, instead of trying to reverse field all the way across the field, knowing that he doesn't have that kind of acceleration, he doesn't. It's not. He needs a much longer runway to beat number 6 here. He understands that if he can stretch it outside a little bit, just enough to get the big guys moving outside, he can then use that sharp change of direction to cut downhill and get the first down, because that's all he needed. So that's smart play, leveraging a short area change of direction speed with the wisdom to make sure that he just gets what's necessary and finish strong. This is a nice display of vision, reading ahead, and understanding his limitations of what a cutback should be for his type of skills. One of my favorite plays comes against number 8 here, Patrick Queen, Ravens linebacker. Beautiful back shoulder catch. I profiled this on Twitter about a year ago. Great position with his hands, good jump back technique. See how he's straight up and down here. Gets back in front of Queen here to make this catch, and then the pull down with one hand to turn away from Queen. Make sure that he drags both feet in bounds as backs his way inside the pylon here. It's a beautiful play. And nice handwork there to get that position ahead and then the jump back. He did this against Texas A&M in 2020. This is not a one-off type of play in his portfolio, and that's something that I think NFL teams should pay attention to, and they likely will. I would say this play is nothing special, but it just shows you some of his ability to press. He presses a couple of steps to the inside. He gets these two linebackers to kind of bite towards the inside enough that he can now work to the outside of his lineman's block. These two linebackers get stuck with that, and he's able to aggressively get through that crease behind his guard, number 65, and fight for a good 8-9 yard gain on the play. And a lot of it has to do with that initial press, which he could press a little bit deeper probably, but he does a good job of at least starting that line there. He gets these two defenders to react to the inside enough that that guard gets the crease, and he does the work that he needs to. So there you have it. Najee Harris, interesting prospect, one of the top prospects at the running back position in this class, that's for sure. Someone who gives you a lot of skills in terms of after contact balance, pass catching. He has some promise as a pass protector. He's going to have to get better at that. Pretty good decision-making skills overall. Thanks for watching. For more RSP Boiler Room videos, check out my YouTube channel, Matt Waldman's RSP Film Room, and my site, www.mattwaldmanrsp.com.